There are a lot of supplements out there, and it seems like every time there is a healthy food identified, somebody wants to identify the active ingredient and sell it as a supplement. Give it to me straight, Doc. What supplements should I be taking?
Well, first of all, whatever you're deficient in, but in general, it's been shown that certain vitamins or nutrients are not enough in our diet. And number one is vitamin D. We have discovery of vitamin D made a big difference because it stopped rickets. But turns out that we need vitamin D our entire life, particularly in the winter months, particularly in people who in the summer use a lot of sunscreen and are staying away, staring at their computers all day. So taking vitamin D during the summer, 5 to 10,000 units per week, or 15 to 20,000 units per week in the winter is a good idea. Vitamin D should be taken with fatty foods because it's a fat-soluble vitamin and will be absorbed. If you're going to Hawaii, do not take your vitamins. If you are going and picking grapes someplace, don't take your vitamin D.
Because of the sunlight.
Yeah, because vitamin D is synthesized in the skin under the influence of ultraviolet.
Now, vitamin D is important for bone health, and it's particularly important for people who are approaching their second, third decades where they are going to hopefully reach peak bone mass. But it's also implicated in a number of diseases that have nothing to do with osteoporosis. And in fact, vitamin D receptors are found in invertebrates who don't even have bones.
Yeah, definitely vitamin D would be an important vitamin. The other important nutrient is the omega-3 fatty acids, that we do not make omega-3 fatty acids in our body, and we need those to get them from in either a diet or in a supplement form for people who are not eating fish or fish products or pasture raised animal products. So
we've touched on that before, these essential fatty acids, the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids.
Usually 1,000 milligrams a day for those people who are not eating any fish, who are vegan and are not paying attention to where their food is coming from.
But these are coming from plants. So if
Correct.
the fish is coming out of a fish farm, it may not have the same essential fatty acids as the herring caught off the coast of Norway.
That's true. The other important vitamin is vitamin B12. Vegetarians do not get it because vitamin B12 is in meat, fish, and eggs, and they need to take vitamin B12. Again, the dosages depend on how low is your vitamin B12. Somewhere 100 micrograms a day should be enough. Sometimes people who are not vegetarian and are eating meat, their microbiome or their stomach where the vitamin B12 is formed is not doing it, so they need to take vitamin B12. And
yeah, but vitamin B12, a generous recommended daily allowance would be something like 10 micrograms per day, yet the most common supplement is 1,000 micrograms per day. I think that it's important to clarify whether somebody is vitamin B12 sufficient or insufficient.
That's true. So those are where the tests are important. However, spending money on constantly checking vitamin D, for instance, is unnecessary. People take some vitamin D and they stop. That doesn't work. If you are not exposed to sun, and particularly in people with dark skin and overweight people, their vitamin Ds happen to be lower. They need to take vitamin D supplementation. The other mineral that I would suggest for heavily menstruating women would be iron. As much as we said iron might be detrimental for older people, it is not. It is frequently important for menstruating women.
So if you have an explanation for low iron levels, that's okay. But if you don't have an explanation for low iron levels, then you need to check for intestinal tumors and such.
In general, if you have low iron and you're not a menstruating woman, you need to get some investigation. And with that, we want to say that truly you do not need to take a multivitamin. People who are living in areas where there are whole grains, plants, vegetables and fruits that are plentiful particularly the ones that are seasonal, will give you every vitamin. Vitamin C particularly, all the orange and red foods, all the fruits, pears are an incredible source of many vitamins. You want to eat the foods and not supplements.
And I think it's important to recognize that when something is given in a trial, a clinical trial, a classic one was giving vitamin A to smokers to prevent lung cancer, it seemed to have the opposite effect. In other words, the trial didn't work.
Yes, and with that, we want to thank you for listening to us. I'm Dr. Miriam Manoukian.
I'm Dr. Jerry Manoukian.
And stay healthy. Don't forget to exercise.